Hello, how are you? My name's Quinlan and welcome to Melbourne Musos. I've got a guitar on my hand. I'll explain a couple of things and sort of describe what I do on the drum set with the drum set pieces I've prepared for this episode. What I do when I'm sitting on the drum set is not really do a drum solo per se, as far as a bit of a highfalutin thing that I try to describe as a drum set piece, because what goes on is I'm actually trying to tell a story. Not really, look how fast I can go. I try not to be like that. I suppose there's a lot of perception that I actually do that. That's where I fail in the piece. But what goes on is I do try hard to sort of create and evoke a mood. And when I talk about moods, and things like this, I've got my guitar on my lap to try and talk about it. I've been talking a bit about intervals over the last couple of episodes. And essentially just the do, re, mi, but if I just count them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, each one in its own little way will give you a kind of an avenue to express a mood. Now, one of the most common intervals is the adding a fourth to your major chord. So we call it a suspended fourth, sus for short. I could go down to sus2, back to major. Oh baby, I love you so. Let's go down to McDonald's and have a meal deal, because I'm tight ass bastard. Anyway, so what goes on? I just made that up there. Oh boy. So what goes on is that an interval can evoke a mood. Now I was sort of happy and I was being a bit satirical, over the top, a bit sarcastic, but if I did this, that's a lot darker. That's a flat 5. Okay. Power chord to flat 5. I used to call that Diabolus in Musica. Some would say banned by the church in medieval times. It's the devil's note and all that sort of stuff. But it had probably a little bit more to do with just harmony for choir and things like that. But look that up, Diabolus in Musica. There it is there. But the relationship of these intervals can give you happy, sad, sort of things, scary, wistful, lonely, happy, everything else, and all that sort of business. I mean, even in movie soundtracks you work with intervals, right? If I just did this, the shark's coming. Over the top is, I'm having a little late night swim in the nutty, oh it's so pretty, and all that, oh I'm a little tipsy too, oh things are going to get messy, and that's what movie soundtracks, called subtext is what it is. So get your favourite film, whether it's like Gone in 60 Seconds or Bambi or Jaws, and just don't look at the, just get the soundtrack, listen to the soundtrack. Game of Thrones soundtrack's brilliant, unbelievable music there. So what I want to talk about here is, how do I get sounds like that, that kind of thing, when I'm sort of putting together different things? Well, sometimes in the most layman of ways, what you can sometimes do is actually just take everything that you already know, right, and just put them somewhere else. Now, this is something that I often get my students to do. What would happen, right, if I just took, what should I do? I'll take an F major, okay, I'll call it an F major 7, okay, just that one, it's just one off from the C. You can start off with this. Actually, I'll go back, C, F, C, G, C, so that saves me doing things like, let's say, okay, it's a little clunky. How about if I just do a bit of almost country bumpkin stuff? There it is there, and what goes on is that with that little thing there, I'm just moving things around a little bit but still creating lots of things. Now, what happens there, just to finish off, I'll come back after the break and explain this in more detail, I suppose, is the fact that you can just move things around and just see the sounds that you come up with. And it'd be like, I like that, that's a bit weird, but I like that, oh, I don't like that, you know, that kind of thing. You know, check it out, I'm just moving my fingers around.